tomorrow will see the end of the government's winter evictions ban. Fr Peter McVerry, founder of the Peter McVerry Trust and social campaigner. How concerned are you, Peter?
I'm extremely concerned. I think this is a horror movie for all those tenants who have received a notice to quit. They're totally at a loss as to what to do. There is virtually no emergency homeless accommodation available anywhere in the country. Normally families would be put up in hotels, but as we know, hotels are full and many hotels are reverting back to tourism. So I am absolutely horrified at what is going to happen over the next few months. So, I was all in favour of extending the ban. The main reason why the landlords are evicting people is because they want to sell the house. Now, for some landlords, that is serious. They need the money. The mortgage they're paying may not be covered by the rent. Interest rates are going up, and so the mortgage repayments are going up, and they're losing money every month, and they need to sell up. I absolutely accept that. There are other reasons maybe why landlords need to sell up. They need to move back into their own property. But that could have been dealt with by way of an exemption from the ban. The inconvenience to the vast majority of landlords who want to sell their property, the inconvenience of waiting perhaps another 12 months is utterly minor compared to the trauma that is now going to be inflicted on thousands of households who are facing eviction. So I'm horrified. I think it's an appalling decision. I think the decision was made to prevent this happening in the early months of next year when local and European elections are pending.
That's a pretty serious charge, Peter. What's your evidence for that? I mean, is it possible that while you may disagree with the decision, they did it because they believed it was the right thing to do or the least worst thing to do? Is that not possible, even if you disagree with that decision?
Well,
can you not accept that
possible,
maybe their motivations were not entirely political?
It is possible, of course, but there is not one single homeless charity who supports the ending of the eviction ban. Every single charity has come out and said this is a disaster.
Fair enough, and you absolutely have to be listened to. But I suppose my question would be: would you ever say that the time is right to lift the eviction ban? And I don't think anyone would argue the eviction ban should be there ad infinitum.
No, there's no good time to lift the eviction ban, but during the eviction ban, it would have been hoped that measures would have been put in place to mitigate the worst effects of the eviction ban. If we had extended it for 12 months, we could put 7,000 modular units on site in the next 12 months if we wanted to. A modular unit only takes 3 months to build, and another month maybe to put on the ground. And we'd have 12 months to bring some of those empty houses that we see in every town and village in Ireland back into use. Some local councils have been very good at that. Some local councils have brought none back into use. Okay. So there are measures we could do over a period maybe of 12 months that would mitigate the worst effects of the ban. But we didn't do it during the 5 months. But if we extended the ban for 12 months, we would have the opportunity to do that.
Two quick things before I let you go, Peter. Reports in the Irish Independent today, landlords asking for more money than local councils are willing to pay for homes where tenants have been served with notices to quit, and councils concerned that tenants are being used as bargaining chips by landlords selling up. Your reaction to that?
I think it's probably inevitable. I wouldn't dispute that at all. I think it's very likely that that's happening. However, I think there are measures that could be taken. I think independent valuers could be used, and those independent valuations could be the basis for a negotiation.
Okay. And finally, if somebody has been served with a notice to quit, what advice are you giving them?
I don't have any advice to give them. I'm sorry. I feel hopeless, to be honest. They're going to be evicted. They're going to be possibly on the street. Of course, go to your local council and look for emergency accommodation. If the local council doesn't have it, I don't know what you do, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the nightmare. That's the nightmare scenario.
Okay, I mean, I presume they should contact yourselves or Threshold or
You should certainly contact Threshold, because a number of those notice to quits were deemed invalid by Threshold, and therefore the landlord will have to start again, and that buys the tenant a little bit more time. So they should certainly contact Threshold. They can contact us or the Simon community, but realistically, in the short term, there isn't an awful lot we can do. We do hope and are planning to add 400 extra social houses this year, but many of those won't come on stream until the last quarter. Again, that would have mitigated the eviction ban effect for some households. But yes, they can contact us, but we certainly cannot guarantee that we can provide them with accommodation. We simply don't have it.
Fr Peter McVerry, founder of the Peter McVerry Trust and social campaigner, thank you for talking to Newstalk Breakfast. Interesting, Ciara, there's social houses being built close to me. They're a year behind schedule. Yeah.
Do we know why?
I don't know why, but it seems to be very little progress on a daily basis, and it's bewildering and perplexing and frustrating.
I'm sure, particularly for people waiting on them. But it's a mess.